Now that everything is installed, let's go to the Windows Start menu and search for Visual. That will give me Microsoft Visual Web Developer 2010 Express. I'm going to go ahead and pin this to my taskbar so that it's always available to launch easily. The first time you launch Visual Studio, it might take a little extra time to perform some initialization, but subsequent startups will be considerably faster. Every great application built using Visual Studio starts by clicking on File and the New Project menu command. Once I do this, Visual Studio will present a list of templates that I can use to get the application bootstrapped. You can pick from class libraries, Azure applications, Silverlight applications, but of course the one we're interested in is an ASP.NET MVC3 web application. I'm going to name this application Ode to Food because I've decided I want to build a website that will allow me to post restaurant reviews. And I'm going to pick a folder on my hard drive where this application is going to be developed. Now I can click OK, and Visual Studio will ask me if I want to create my project using the empty project template or the Internet Application Project template. In the future, you might see additional templates in this dialog box. And the idea is you'll pick the template that is the closest match for the type of application you want to build. The empty project template is great if you want to start building your user interface from scratch. But I'm going to go with the Internet Application template. This template comes with a default home page and all of the user interface pieces and infrastructure needed for a user to register on the site and then log in and log off. Those features are going to come in useful in future modules. For the view engine, I'm going to leave the default value of Razor in place. A view engine is a component that works inside of our application to help produce the HTML that we need to send back to the client's browser. Razor is the preferred view engine for MVC. The other option is the ASPX view engine, but ASPX is the legacy view engine, and this option is primarily for backwards compatibility. I'll click OK one more time, and Visual Studio will build out my starting project structure. Now the project structure is in place, and I can go ahead and run the application for the first time. But before I do, I'm going to come into this Solution Explorer window. The Solution Explorer window contains a tree of items. The top node in this tree represents the project file for my application, and the project file contains all the instructions and configuration Visual Studio needs to build my application. The child nodes of this tree contain the folders we will fill up with C# code, JavaScript code, style sheets, all those pieces that we'll need to make up the application. The project template that we used will already populate some of these folders, and I want to see what the application looks like. But before I run the application for the first time, I'm going to right-click on that project node and select Use IIS Express. As I mentioned earlier, IIS Express will be the web server and host for my application as I work in this development environment. IIS Express is a lightweight version of Microsoft's Internet Information Services, but we don't need the full server version until we're ready to deploy to production. For now, IIS Express will give us all the features we might need, including SSL support, without any of the administrative configuration and privileges that we would need to run the full web server. So with IIS Express configured, let's go to the debug menu and run the application under the debugger. The application appears to be running, which is a good sign. You can see the template we picked gave us a home page with some default colors and styles. We have a menu with a working about link. We even have a logon screen where a user can come and register with our site. Notice the URL is a friendly, readable URL with no file extensions present. And if we view the source code to this page, you'll see our application has relatively clean-looking HTML. It's perfect for styling, search engine optimization, and client-side scripting. In fact, we already have a script tag in place to pull down the popular jQuery JavaScript library, and we'll be looking at taking advantage of jQuery later in this course. If we close these windows and return to the Solution Explorer window, notice that we have some folders named Controllers, Models, and Views. Let's talk about the significance of these names next.